is to understand what are mutually exclusive and not mutually exclusive events. And after we understand that, we will be doing the addition rule that will be used to solve the question. Now, before I go to the lesson, I would like to quickly revise for you the previous lesson. So in the previous lesson, if you remember, we did independent and dependent events. And for that, which rule I gave you? Anybody remembers? What was the name of the rule? It was multiplication rule. So if you have independent and dependent events to calculate the probability of both A and B, you were doing multiplication. I will write that formula again just to remind you. So when we have to do, when we have independent and dependent events, we do the multiplication. Remember that. Now for this lesson, when we understand what are mutually exclusive and not mutually exclusive events, we will be using the addition rule. Okay, so please understand carefully. I will explain for you what is mutually exclusive. So if two events, this is the main important part which I'm highlighting for you. If two events cannot happen at the same time, they are said to be mutually exclusive. That is, the two events have no outcome in common. This is very important. So if there is no common outcome, so the two events are said to be mutually exclusive. Let's take an example. When die is rolled, can I write the sample space? What all numbers you get? We start from 1, we go on till 6. So this is the total sample space. Now, if I give you an event A is the event of getting a 3 number, and event B is the event of getting a 4 number. Look at the Venn diagram and tell me, do they have anything common? Can you see from the picture? Getting a 3 or a 4, does it have anything common? Do they have any common outcomes? Both are different numbers. So either a 3 can come or a 4 can come. They cannot happen together. And that is why when we want to calculate the probability of these events, we have only two favorable outcomes. One, which is 3, one, which is 4. They have nothing in common. So such an event is called mutually exclusive event. Okay. Let me give you another example for mutually exclusive. For example, we have the same sample space that the die is rolled. Now, if I ask you what is the probability, let's define event A as getting even number and event B as getting odd number. Then can I say they have nothing in common? Because for even, I have 2, 4, 6, this option. And for odd, I have 1, 3, and 5. So they don't share anything common. So when there is no common outcome, the events are said to be mutually exclusive. Very, very easy. Now, if you have understood mutually exclusive, can you use the chat and tell me what do you think will be not mutually exclusive? Opposite. Just tell me the opposite. Think, and then I will explain you the formula. Use the chat and give me your answers. Now I will give you the rule for probability. You will write this in your notebook. I hope everybody has their notebook handy. This is a very important formula. That's why I put that red star. It will come in your exam for sure. One question from mutually exclusive. So we know that many times in class we have done that probability of an event is number of favorable outcomes divided by number of total outcomes, right? This formula. So now if I know that two events A and B are mutually exclusive, then we always use the addition rule. That means we will add the individual probabilities. If I want to find the probability of A or B, it is equal to probability of A plus probability of B. And what's the condition? That my two events should be mutually exclusive. That means they should not have anything in common. Okay, so this is called the addition rule. It's important. Make sure you write it in your notebooks. So before we go to the first question, I'll give you a few minutes to copy this down. I hope someone is taking the screenshots for the girls who are absent. Let me check. And yes, those who have joined us late, make sure you put your attendance in the chat. Put your name so that I know that you are there and I can give you the attendance. Wonderful. So let's start the first question for today, which we will solve using this, and then we will also move to the worksheet. Okay. Hind, can you unmute your mic and read for us? A part. Read the question.
It's me.
Hind Abdullah.
Miss, I can't speak because my voice is
Oh, it's okay. Then anybody else? Nada, Fatma, unmute and read, please. Nada, you can read.
A card is drawn from a standard deck of 52 cards. Determine whether the events are mutually exclusive or not mutually exclusive. Explain your reasoning.
Read the A part, and then Fatma can read B. Shama can read C.
Drawing a 3 or a 2. There are no common outcomes. A card cannot be both a 2 and a 3. These events are mutually exclusive.
Okay, so before Fatma reads B part, let's understand A part. Everybody is okay with this? See, these are two different cards. In a pack of 52 cards, you know, we have done questions on pack of cards, drawing the card before also in class. So if you see 3 or 2, can I say these are two different cards? Do they have anything common? Nothing. So the condition to check for mutually exclusive event is very simple. If they do not have any common outcomes, they are mutually exclusive. And it is not possible that a card can be both 2 or 3. So that's the reason why the first events are mutually exclusive. So can I say not mutually exclusive would mean they have something in common? Yes, because they are exactly the opposite. So now Fatma Marwan will read for you B part and then followed by Shama Muhammad for C part. Let's start.
Drawing a 7 or a red card, the 7 diamond is an outcome that both events have in common. These events are not mutually exclusive.
Okay, now come to this one, which Fatma read for you. Here we say it is not mutually exclusive. Do we all agree? Do they have something common? Tell me. See, in a pack of 52 cards, you know there are half red, half black. Okay, so that means 26 red cards, 26 black cards. Now, out of these 26 red cards, can I say there will be a card which will be having 7 number also? So there is a card which is both having number 7 and it is red in color also, which is 7 of diamonds. So this is an outcome that is common in both. And as long as you have some common, it will not be mutually exclusive. So this is the way we identify, very, very simple. If you want to write it in your notebook, you can. I'll make a small table here. So if it is mutually exclusive event, it means yes, there are, maybe I will use a different color, just a minute. I would like to change the color. Okay, it's not changing at the moment. So let's write no common outcomes. It will have nothing in common. So if you look at the Venn diagram, well, one will be like this, one will be like this. They're not even touching. However, if it is not mutually exclusive, it will have something common. That means if one is like this, the other is like this. Can you see the common part? They are meeting. right? So they have something common, and that is when it will be not mutually exclusive. So Shama, can you read the last one? Let's finish the slide and then we go to the worksheet. Shama is there in the meeting, right? Shama is not reading, so anybody else would like to read for her? Just unmute and read. Those who have not read. Lubna, you want to read? Oh, Shama Muhammad. Now she's raising her hand, but I don't know why she's not reading. Shama, you want to read?
Yes, I'll read.
Okay. Read C part.
Drawing a queen or a spade. Because the queen of spades represents both events, they are not mutually exclusive.
Wonderful. If you see, again, this is like similar to B part. They are not mutually exclusive because they have something in common. What is the common thing? There will be a queen which will be of spade also. So this is event A, this is event B. They have something common. What common? The card of queen of spades. And if they have something in common like this, like the picture which I make for you, not mutually exclusive, that means they are going to be not mutually exclusive. Okay, so before we go to the next question, quickly let's go to the worksheet and do the question 15. This is the question. I'm going to be giving you like 3 minutes to try it out. Then I will pick up 4 girls, one for A, B, C, D. Okay, you have to choose which one is the option and you have to give me reason why. Okay, so do the question number 15 and after 5 minutes we will continue the class. Put your answers in the chat, okay, once you're done. I will put a picture of the question in the chat so that it's easy for you. Just 1 minute. I'm taking the picture. Why you're raising your hand, Hind?
Because I'm done.
Wonderful. Just put your answers in the chat. Let's give others also a minute to do. So this is the question. Put it on the chat. Last 1 minute to everyone. Question is in the chat for you. Roaya, have you finished? And you can put your hand down now. I know you are done. Just make sure you put it in the chat also, what you have covered. I don't see your answer in the chat, by the way, Hind. So take a minute. Okay, so Lubna will give us A part. And Fatma Ali will give us B part. Maha will give us C part. And Mariam Afifi will give us the last one. Okay, so tell me. Is it 4 or 5? So there are so many cards, 1 to 100. 4 or 5. Can they have anything common? Tell me, girls. You can use your mic now. Unmute and say. Okay, you can type if your mic has an issue, no problem. Will it have anything common? 4 or 5? Is it possible? So 4 and 5 are two different cards. One is an even number, one is an odd number. It does not have anything common. Therefore, these are going to be mutually exclusive. Okay. Let's come to the next one. Is it even or greater than 50? Hind, would you like to take this one? Or anybody else? You can use your mic now if you want to use the mic. Otherwise, chat is also a good option. Very good, Fatma, Hind. I have got your answers. Lubna, you have to still type. Ruwaya, what about you? Nada, Shama Muhammad. Maha, give me your answers. So let's check. So is it even or greater than 50? So there will be some even numbers which will be greater than 50, obviously, like 52, like 54. These are all even numbers as well as greater than 50. So they have something in common. So they cannot be mutually exclusive. Next one, is the number a multiple of 10 or a multiple of 3? So is there a number which is multiple of 10 also and a multiple of 3 also? Can any girl tell me that number on the mic? Which is the number which is multiple of 10 also and 3 also, in between 1 to 100? There is something common. What is that number? Use the mic now. Unmute. If you want, use the chat also. Type the number. Can I say 30? 30 is a number which is a multiple of 10 also, a multiple of 3 also. So it has something common. So it's going to be not mutually exclusive. I hope you're able to see what I'm writing. Again, for even and greater than 50, there are so many options, 52, 54, 56, and so on. So these are having common outcomes. Let's do the last one, D. Is it less than 5 or a multiple of 9? So can there be a number which is less than 5 and also a multiple of 9? So just quickly to remind you, multiples of 9 are like 9 multiplied by 1, by 2, by 3, and so on. So the smallest multiple of 9 is 9 itself. But we are here having a number less than 5, means the option is 1, 2, 3, and 4 only. So do they have anything common? Less than 5 are only these 4 numbers. Multiple of 9 begins with 9. Nothing common, so therefore mutually exclusive. So these are the correct answers. You can note them down in your worksheet. Complete question 15, and then we go back to the presentation and continue with examples. Next is example 2 coming up, which will be read by. Can the girls whose mic is working nicely raise their hands so that I can choose one of you to read? Marwa, your mic is okay. Can you read for us? Or Mariam Afifi, you can read for us example. Shama also, we have Shama Muhammad Ibrahim. Would you like to read?
Yes, I can read.
Who's that? Mahara. Okay. Mahara, okay, you can start reading the slide, example 2. Everybody pay attention to the table while she's reading. Start.
Daniel organizes all of his social media contacts into 3 groups. If the program sends Daniel an update from a randomly chosen contact, what is the probability that the contact is either then a close friend or an acquaintance?
Wonderful. Now look at the table, girls. Can you tell me the number of close friends from the table for Daniel? What's the number of close
68.
friends? 68. Very good. How many are acquaintances?
24.
And how many he has restricted in his contacts?
10.
Now what the question is asking, let's see. The question is asking from the last line. So read the last line one more time. What is one? This is the most important part. It is asking, what is the probability that the contact is either a close friend or an acquaintance? So How many close friends? Let's write again, 68. How many acquaintance? 24. Now you remember I told you whenever you get a question from probability, which is asking you to find the probability, you always use the same formula. What is that formula? Who can tell me? We've done it so many times in class as well. What is the formula? Anyone?
Number of favorable outcomes over total outcomes.
Excellent. Right? We have used this so many times. So can you girls tell me total outcomes? Add these three numbers. How much? Use your calculator. I want to know the total. Let's see who can give me. On the mic, you can unmute yourself and tell me the total. Use your calculator. No worries. How much?
102.
Fatma says 102. Very, very good. So there are total 102 contacts. Now look here carefully. If I want to choose a close friend or an acquaintance, can you tell me out of these two events? This is like event A, choosing close friend, event B, choosing acquaintance. You can tell me, are these two events mutually exclusive? Yes or no? You know what are close friends, right? Like best friends. What about acquaintances? I hope you've done this word in English. Are they close? You can Google
No.
also. They are not so close, right? They are like your far off relatives, like that, which you meet like maybe once in a few months. You're not so close. However, your best friends are people like who you like to talk every day, right? So can I say a person who is a close friend cannot be an acquaintance? Conversely, a person who is an acquaintance cannot be a close friend, right? Can I say these two are mutually exclusive? Tell me, yes or no? Do you agree? Read this line, everyone. These two events of choosing the close friend and acquaintance are mutually exclusive. What is the reason? Because you cannot have a close friend who's an acquaintance. Both are very, very different. One is very close to you, one is not so close to you. So can I apply the addition rule, which is the formula for mutually exclusive? So if I apply the addition rule and I want to find the probability for close friend or acquaintance, I'm going to add the individual properties. Okay, so I have 68 close friends out of total 102 and 24 acquaintance out of a total 102. So I just add the two numbers in the numerator and what I get is 46 over 51. If in your ministry exam you get this question and they ask you for the probability in terms of fraction, you're going to give this. If they ask you for percentage, what will you do? What will you do to get your
Multiply by
percentage?
100.
Very good. So can you check your calculator and tell me what's that percentage?
90%.
So it's about 90%, right? So you will get a fraction, you'll get a decimal. If you round off, it will be near about 90%. Is it fine? Everybody understands this question? So the most important thing here was to identify that the events are mutually exclusive and then to use this formula. What is this formula called? Addition rule. One question will come, so make sure you learn this rule. Okay, let's do one more practice. So I'm going to give you a timer of 3 minutes to try this question and then we will discuss. Now, I want you to give me the answer in percentage. So just for an example, it is asking you what is the probability that a randomly selected species of seabird is critically endangered or endangered. So for example, if I go to critically endangered, I will only choose the percentage. I don't want the number. Okay. So use the percentage and give me the final answer in percentage. Your time starts now. Put your answers in chat after 3 minutes once you're done. Okay, I hope you are now done. Last 1 minute. I'm going to check your chat now. Put your answers in the chat. Very good. Excellent, Lubna. What about others? She's right. And Lubna, you need not do so much calculation that you did. I will give you a shortcut. Huh? It's correct. Both of you, Lubna and Fatma, very good. Well done. I'll send something for you. Yes. So just, I want to remind you, just a minute, girls. Huh? I will answer. Just a minute, girls. Okay, just confirming from you, this is 10:05. Okay. So the session will end in another 10 minutes. We have another class also today, right? So we'll be continuing the session in that one. Actually, Miss Mona requested me to send your attendance. That's why I just muted myself. So I will check and I will add her also to the call. Okay, let's come back to our lesson. So this one. Okay, now let me give you the shortcut first. So the shortcut is, listen here carefully, you will look at the percentage, critically endangered. How much? 5%. And endangered, how much? 9%. Now first check, are they mutually exclusive? If they are mutually exclusive, directly you can apply the addition rule, right? So yes, they are mutually exclusive because a bird which is in critically endangered means it's like very, very less in population, and an endangered means who is about to get extinct. These are two different. So that means in order to find the final answer, because I know these two are mutually exclusive, directly I can apply the addition rule and just add 9 with 5. So how much it is, tell me. I'm sure all of you got the same answer, 14%. If the question, same question, this one comes for MCQ online, and it is there for like say the options are in percentage, then you will directly choose 14%. If the options are in decimal, you will convert to decimal. If the options are in fraction, only then you will give the answer what Lubna had put in the chat, this one, or in simplest fraction, this one. Do you get me? All are correct answers, but you will look at what the question is asking, and then accordingly you will proceed. Is this question clear to everybody? Just give me a thumbs up on the chat so that I know it's okay, and then we can proceed. Fine. Easy, right? Very good. Big clap for Shama, Fatma, Mahara, Hind, everybody who gave me the correct answer. Very good. Lubna as well. She gave me the perfect steps. So wonderful. Now we are ready to move on to the next slide. Okay, now we move to the second part of the lesson, which is not mutually exclusive. That means I will have something common. So look at this pie chart. Can we see that they have something in common? Yes or no? If a number is like greater than 2 or even, it will have something common that will be there, right? So therefore, this is a question on not mutually exclusive. So let's see a question on this one. Again, I will give you a formula that you will use for solving the question for not mutually exclusive. This is also like your addition rule. So I'll give you 2 minutes to quickly copy this down. This is very, very important. So if it is given that events are mutually exclusive, you just have to add them. If it is given not mutually exclusive, you have to add the two and then subtract this. So just copy this in your notebook that if the events are not mutually exclusive, you are going to apply this addition rule for probability. Fine. Okay, you can do this while I add Ms. Muna to the call. Just 1 minute, girls. This is your class, right?
Miss class finished.
Yes. So just complete writing this and then remaining we will do later. Okay, so she's been added. Now it's almost 10. No, the period ends at 10:10, right? It's only 10. Another. The period ends at 10:05. It's only 10 at the moment. So let's do one question and then we stop. Okay, so this is the one that we will do now. Example 3. Look at the picture. In this picture, you have some circular shapes, you have some square shapes, and you have a pentagon as well. Now, what the question is asking, let's read. What is the probability that the game piece is round or orange? So I want you to think. First, tell me how many round pictures are there. You can unmute your mic and tell me. Count out of this total how many round shapes are there. Color is not important, just the shape.
5.
How many total round? 5. And how many are total in there? Can you count? How many total
10.
shapes? Can I say 5 out of 10 is going to be the probability for round? Yes. And what about mutually exclusive, not mutually exclusive? Tell me. Can I say these two events are not mutually exclusive, round and orange? Do you see something which is round and orange also? What's the common outcome? Tell me. How many? Do you notice this?
2.
2. So these two are common. So 2 out of 10 is the common part which I'm going to subtract. What about orange color? How many of them are in orange color? Can you count for me? Probability for orange?
4.
4. So I'm going to add 4 over 10. And then I'm going to subtract the common. So which formula did I use? From the last slide, probability of A or B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A and So this is the formula which we've used because these are not mutually exclusive. So what's your final answer? In fraction, it is
7
going to
over
be very good, 7/10. And if the same question comes for percentage, what should be your answer? Tell me.
70%.
70%. Amazing. Very good. So I think we are going to stop here. But before I stop, this is your homework. We have another class as well, right, girls? So we are going to discuss this one that time. Let me just check the schedule.
Miss, we don't have.
It's fine then. We will complete tomorrow, and this question is your homework for today. Okay, just take a picture and put it in the chat for the girls who are absent. We will be discussing this tomorrow, and these are your final answers to check. Actually, the lesson is complete. See, so this is just for your practice. From the book, I have put for you some important questions. Please practice them. And for the other girls who are not able to join today's meeting, I've already recorded the session. So I will share with all of you tomorrow the link for this